But this next solution cost me everything. I stopped showing up to work for a month. But it put me in this mode of, that's crazy, right? You would have thought like making 4 times your pay per hour is insane. Until by month 4, I was making $4,000 a month. Crazy for a college kid who was only making $1,000 a month to be able to use his phone, his laptop, and the same knowledge he's had for years, but be able to make $4,000 a month recurring, meaning I didn't have to get new customers. I had $4,000 coming in per month for the next 3 to 6 months. Off of a $400. I was so broke door dashing. Only had $400 to my name. I don't know how this could have happened at the right time, but if there was ever a story that gave you hope and inspiration that you could do it too, this would be exactly that. In this video, we're going to talk about, and I'm going to share the story with you of how I went from broke to making $12,000 in 2 months selling a digital product. Just one digital product, okay? Now, this really started like 5 years ago. I never knew where this journey was going to take me. And before I even get into it, I just want to let you know, you don't need to be a guru. You don't need to have a lot of followers. You can do this from any location in the world. All right. And you can do it even if you don't have all the time in the world. But getting back into it, it started 5 years ago when I was working at a university while I was a student. And if you don't know, I'm a big nerd at heart. I love technology, and I was working in the technology industry. And around this time, it was during the pandemic. OK, and they had basically, the college had ran out of money and they didn't have enough grant money from the government to continuously pay us employees. So I had to get really, really creative. I was getting paid only $10 an hour from that job anyways, making about $500 every 2 weeks, which is $1,000 a month. So I really didn't even have a lot of money to begin with in the first place. But there was one thing that I did have, and that was the passion of working out. Now, I say that to say that when I wasn't making money from that job because they didn't have any more paycheck grant money to send us in our paychecks, I stopped showing up to work for a month. But it put me in this mode of looking for another solution on how I can land another job and get paid, because we all have bills, right? So as I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? DoorDash just might be the move, especially because it was the pandemic time and everybody was at home. Wow, I'm making $40 an hour. That's crazy, right? You would have thought like making 4 times your pay per hour is insane. Until with the biggest emphasis, because this is when I realized that, hey, I could staple flyers of me promoting my fitness business, which was at the time just me posting on Instagram and writing fitness programs and meal plans for people on social media. I can staple a little flyer here on people's food bags and deliver them on DoorDash. And I thought it was a genius idea, but you might be surprised, I made $0. And I mean zero. I actually lost money because it cost me about $100 to print off those flyers. But that taught me another thing, that I had to look for another solution. But this next solution cost me everything. I remember going out with my cousin. All right. And he had invited me to go to the resort with some girls, have some fun. Long story short, I almost got $400 stolen from me because I gave it to someone to borrow and they didn't want to return it. And I could just put myself back in that moment. The feelings, the emotions that was going through my mind was anger. It was denial. You know, there's no way I had $400 stolen from me. Like, I don't do that to people. Why is this happening to me? And then it was regret, which was one of the last stages, which is, you know, I could have done this with the $400. Now, I got the $400 back, but when I got it back, I invested it the same day into a mentorship that taught me how to make money online. Never knew where it was going to take me. And mind you, that was all the money I had to my name. I had no more dollars. What ended up happening was the craziest thing. I joined a mentorship that taught me how to talk about what I'm already knowledgeable about, but talk in a way that leverages my knowledge and helps people make a confident decision in buying my product or service. It was a fitness program with meal plans, things that I was already creating, you know, for myself. And I would create on social media with posting for free and posting organic content. I was doing that for like $5, but they taught me how to communicate to the camera, but also package it in a way where people would pay me $200 to $500 to $1,000 to $3,000. All right. From a 45-minute conversation, which was insane to me. I didn't think it was possible. and you wouldn't believe what happened next. Now, before I get into it, you probably know where this is going, right? Because this whole point of this video is me sharing my story about how I went from broke to making $12,000 in 2 months, but it wasn't even off of fitness. But before I even get into what actually made me the 12K in 2 months, I want to go ahead and let you know that I am hosting a live class very, very soon that's going to show you how to get freedom by making passive income online. Now, it's going to be live. This is not pre-recorded. It's not a course. It's not an ebook. I'm going to be on Zoom with you, and I'm going to show you how you can use this plan that I'm doing right now and that I did in the past, and that works effortlessly as long as you go ahead and put in the work. Now, if you want to get on the wait list, you can go ahead and do so. The link is in the description down below, or you can just comment class and I will personally reply to you the link so you can sign up. All right. We can only have a certain handful of you all in there, but I want to invite you in there because I'm going to show you how you can do this yourself, ended up making passive income and have freedom by sharing your knowledge. Okay. I got you. Again, link in the description down below, or you can just comment the word class and I'll personally reply to you as well. All right. So getting back into it. Month one of me, after I invested $400, I actually made $700. All I had to do was post on Instagram, and there was this little DM script that, when people engaged with my posts on my fitness page, I was able to use this DM script, which is, direct messaging and, ask a couple questions, get on a phone call, boom. I never forget. I made $250. And I say this with a, like, I was in this very room when I made my first sale, right? Anyways, I never thought that I would be able to share this story with you all because it amazed me how easy it was to make money. All right. Now, month two, I was making $2,700. By month four, I was making $4,000 a month. Crazy for a college kid who was only making $1,000 a month to be able to use his phone, his laptop, and the same knowledge he's had for years, but be able to make $4,000 a month recurring, meaning I didn't have to get new customers. I had $4,000 coming in per month for the next 3 to 6 months off of a $400 investment. Now that $400 was $400 a month because I got ongoing membership for 2 years, mentorship for ongoing 2 years, but that taught me a whole nother lesson, right? Because I ran into a big problem. The algorithm wasn't moving in my favor at a certain point. After being consistent for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years as an online fitness coach, posting my workouts, showing people how to eat correctly and get on a meal plan and, do exercises in the gym, my algorithm, whatever, it just seemed like it wasn't working in my favor. I was just keep seeing the same people like engage with my posts. And that was one of the ways that I earned money, by posting on Instagram. So I had to dig deep and learn how to market, how to talk to a camera, make better videos, tell a story, and share my experience. And that's when I learned, after investing a whole nother $3,000 into a course, I learned that I didn't have to work hard or as hard as I did to make that money. There was a very simple process to this. I'm going to break it down. Listen up. You post on social media for free 99, meaning it doesn't cost you anything but your time. Okay. That time is put in a little pill, but it's in the online world. So now people can replay it whenever they want. But here's the thing. You need to have something called an email list. And if you've been listening carefully, I just let you all know, if you want to join my live class, that's going to be announced soon in the email. And only people who are going to get access to it is in the emails. That's me using this tactic, right? But you'd be able to do it too off of what you can offer and what your content is on. Now, I say all that to say, once I did this process, there was a very easy way to invite a crowd of people into a service or a product that I had created, and it invited them to actually have access to further access to me and information to have them have a transformation. Kind of like how I'm telling you, I'm going to show you how to get freedom by making passive income online with your own knowledge, with the own digital product. And I promise you, it's not just creating an ebook with AI. Okay. This is actually the real deal stuff. All right. This is stuff that I've actually done. But I say all that to say that that's when 12K had rolled in within 2 months. And it really came in when I had done a webinar, and it was only 45 minutes. It's nothing but a presentation of showing people value up front, but then allowing them to have closer access to you. Maybe they you get on a Zoom call once a month or once a week or so. And, they join because they need that transformation. They're ready to move forward and change the way they make money, right? That's what I was teaching. But if I would have done that in the fitness industry, it would have been crazier because I was already able to talk one-on-one with posting content online. But putting it out there for a group of people was insane. And that's when I went from broke to making $12K in just 2 months doing that process. And it was more simple than you think, honestly. And that's exactly why I'm going to share with you that exact process of how you can do it. But the truth is, a lot of people are going to tell you that's the only way. That's the only way to make money online. But there's various ways that you can do this. And I'm going to share that with you in my live class that I'm going to announce soon, only to the people who are subscribed to my email list. All right. So the link to that, again, is in the description down below. All right. You can go ahead and sign up and you're going to get a notification and a couple emails leading to the time of the live class. And it's going to be up there. You're going to be able to ask me questions live, depending on your situation and your own knowledge and your own passion and how you can turn it into a passive income stream using social media. All right. Using your phone, your laptop, and your own knowledge. Okay. I'm excited to see you in there. Again, link in the description down below or comment the word class and I'll personally reply and give you the link so you can sign up and get on that email list. All right. That is it. That is all. I will see you all in the next video. I'm out. Peace.